It's Saturday evening. It's time to talk about the very best comic books in the entire world this week with our good friend Drew.
What's up, man? Yeah, it's a Saturday evening. I'm watching IU play Wisconsin right now, but I do make time to talk about the best comics of the week. So let's talk about those very best comics of the week.
But before we get there, we should talk about another book that's out there that I imagine a lot of people read this week and regret. Batman 162. Jim Lee on art, Jeph Loeb writing, Hush 2. The Jim Lee art is actually quite good. There's an amazing splash page with Damian on a motorcycle. Makes you remember how great Jim Lee is. But the writing in this book is so atrocious. I don't even understand what's supposed to be happening in this book anymore.
I'll be honest, I couldn't finish it. I really couldn't. I got as far as to see Jim Lee's redesigned Riddler. I mean, combined with the dialogue by Jeph Loeb. I mean, he's writing these characters. We know these characters so well, and he's writing them so horribly out of character, especially Damian. This is a strong skip it this week, Wes. But now, look, we love Jim Lee. There are pages here where we see glimmers of the Jim Lee that we all knew and loved. But for me, for the most part, I feel like it's a Scott Williams show. I mean, that's no knock against Scott Williams. He's a legendary inker, but here, I mean, we're seeing Scott do a lot of the heavy lifting here in a lot of these pages. There's a lot of blacks, there's a lot of heavy inks, and it's like, yeah, Scott is doing a lot of the work here, which is fine and great, but we're here for Jim Lee, and it's okay. But at the end of the day, after this book, I just found myself just not caring, and this run has only gotten worse.
But it's home of the worst riddles that you will ever read in a Batman comic. He's completely out of character, but Batman is the worst. Just taking a needle and shoving it in Barbara Gordon's neck. Oh, yeah, she's never had her neck broken and been paralyzed before. That couldn't be dangerous whatsoever. And then he's getting called out once again by Catwoman. And she's like, you're acting like a 5-year-old. There started it, and basically backs up everything she said about him by behaving like a petulant child, written completely out of character.
It really makes you wonder. When you really think critically about this comic, and you're not just reading it to read it, when you're thinking critically about it, it really makes you wonder, was this their plan the entire time? Did this change or evolve over time? Or did Jeph Loeb turn in a first draft for everything and said, there you go, that's it, have at it? Because a lot of this really, really feels like a first draft, and there really was no editing done on this book, and it shows. But Wes, we both have two Batman comics this week that are quantum leaps beyond this run by creatives who actually care and who are actually trying, that you will enjoy.
This is a waste of Jim Lee art, unfortunately.
And $7.
It's $7, and I think a lot of people are going to be regretting reading Batman 162. Thankfully, this is a particularly good week. We got lots of great indie books. We got Marvel, DC, all showed up this week. We'll start out with G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, 322. Larry Hama writing, Paul Pelletier on art. We've got dueling missions going on. Lady J leading a recon mission in the desert looking for a new terrordrome. We've got Snowball in an Arctic setting looking for another terrordrome. Apparently, Cobra is just springing them out in remote locations. Things go awry in both situations, and we get some amazing action in here. And I'm just loving what Larry Hama is doing. He's still got it.
This was a very fast-paced and action-packed issue, and I want to specifically call out Paul Pelletier and Tony Cordos. We've seen them work on this book together before, but this issue, I really feel like they are simpatico. Cordos is complimenting Paul's pencil so well here that I had to actually look it up to verify that it was him. That this is chocolate and peanut butter, guys. They're firing on all cylinders together in this issue. And the story by Larry, you said it. Yeah, the Terrordrome is back, baby, but nothing is as it seems. Maybe there's more sinister plans than what the Joes were prepared for here. Yeah, strong recommend for G.I. Joe, Real American Hero. Larry Hama, 76, and he's schooling the other creatives right now at Marvel and DC.
It is definitely a great time to be a G.I. Joe fan, but it's also a good time to be a Ghost Machine fan because we got Redcoat number 15, Jeff Johns writing, Brian Hitch on art. This is a different flavor of Redcoat. We've never seen this version of Simon Pure before. He's actually happy. Things have worked out for him. We see him in a future timeline and the return of one Albert Einstein. I just love this kind of cool down issue to get you ready for the next thing. give you some of those great feel-good moments about the character, because you see him on so many misadventures, to see that things are actually going to work out for him in the end, or at least right now. And I really enjoyed this Redcoat, even though it wasn't quite as action-packed as the previous issues.
I never know what to expect because I love going into blind into a series I'm loving, and this was a more dramatic issue. So we see here that Simon has hung up his red coat and has started a family. He has a job. He's settled down, enjoying family life. But he gets a knock at the door from a lifelong friend who comes bearing some terrifying news. What is it? You got to read to find out. Yeah, this is a solid issue. It's very fast-paced, but very dramatic and endearing at the same time. Brian Hitch, once again, does a solid job on the art here. This is a strong recommend for Redcoat. And even greater news this week, it's now in development at a movie studio. Guys, jump in on this series now.
Congratulations for getting that. And I do hope we get to see that, because I want to see Rook Exodus as well, eventually. Also going to recommend Transformers 26, Robert Kirkman writing, Dan Moore on art. This is a very good issue, and the art by Dan Moore is absolutely phenomenal. Although it is a bit confusing, we're going back to events and playing off events that happened maybe 18 months ago with Skywarp and Jetfire and Teletron and all that kind of stuff. I wish they had done a little bit better of a job reminding you how we got to the situation that they're really exploring at this point. But it is very, very cool to see the one character fighting so hard for his friend, thinking that the Autobots were going to be torturing him and all this kind of stuff. But we've also got General Flag playing out. We got Miles Mayhem playing out, and Transformers kind of coming together nicely under Robert Kirkman, but you can tell he's taking it in a different direction.
I absolutely love this issue, Wes, and I agree. There are a few moments here where it can be a little bit confusing, but for me, overall, I enjoyed it because specifically it's how Optimus is written in this issue. We see Optimus not as a fighter, but for the leader he is. He's got a Decepticon in their base they're trying to fix, who doesn't trust them, but Optimus is exuding so much trust and positivity that the Decepticon may just end up trusting him. The Autobots are shocked, but Optimus shows them the right way. It's why Optimus is one of the greatest leaders and heroes in all of fiction. And the second moment I want to call out in this book is on Cybertron between Cliff Jumper and the other female Autobot, Elita 1. They have a great debate about Optimus and what he did and why he left. And hey, neither of them are wrong in their debate. What Optimus did sucks, but Earth does need Optimus and the Autobots right now. This is my pick of the week, Wes. People were knocking Kirkman and Mora as milquetoast and boring, but my God, they bring the heat here. And we're seeing a different style from Dan Mora here as well. I'm seeing he's evoking some Jorge Corona styles in this issue. If you're not reading Transformers yet, guys, fix yourself. This will be on the top 3 comics of the year.
Absolutely. It's in the running along with Space Ghost and Conan the Barbarian, at least for me. And speaking of Conan, we are going to recommend issue number 26, Jim Zub writing, Fernando Dagnino on art. This is a really exciting issue. It starts out, there's a big war. The king of Aquilonia, there's something going on with him. He will not send aid out to a group of his soldiers that have been cut off. He sends in a group of mercenaries, Conan the Barbarian being among those. And we get to see these great moments of Conan going out there, coming up with plans, disturbing the enemy camp, giving the cut-off soldiers an opportunity to get back into the fight, get back to their capital city. And clearly they're setting up King Conan, not too distant future.
You said it. Yeah, we got a new story arc here. You know, in this run, we're going to be seeing Conan the Mercenary starting off as he's a sword for hire. But this just may be laying the groundwork for what will happen to Conan a little later in his life, or sooner rather than later. Why? Because the king of Aquilonia, he's gone mad, and Conan does eventually become king after these events. Will we see that happen here? We got to read to find out. This is a major turning point in the life of Conan, and I cannot wait to see what happens next. But this issue sets up what's to come, and I can't wait. The art here by Fernando Dagnino is incredible as well. He's really evoking some strong John Buscema styles, and that is never a bad thing when it comes to Conan. Strong recommend for Conan the Barbarian 26.
That's my pick of the week, and it's starting to feel like Conan might be the front runner for the best comic book series of all of 2025. Although there are a couple of good series out there with Space Ghost and Transformers as well. Let's move over to Marvel Comics, because we're actually going to recommend a Marvel book this week. Spider-Man and Wolverine, number 7, Mark Guggenheim writing, Carrie Andrews on art. And this is the Carrie Andrews Show. We see Spider-Man, we see Wolverine fighting some type of amalgamation of a character, and then we see Spider-Man and Wolverine reappear, but everywhere they go, it's similar, but it's not the same. Clearly, they're playing in some type of parallel universe. They get called out and return to go see Reed Richards to find out that things are definitely not what they seem. And Carrie Andrews goes absolutely fucking ham in this book. Some of the most visually stunning scenes that you'll see in all of Marvel Comics for the entire year. This is the best illustrated book of the week.
I couldn't agree more. There's one word I have to sum up with his art here. It is energy. I've complimented this guy like crazy, and I will continue doing so. You really feel the energy coming off each and every single panel and page. I mean, you have to compare his work to the other 99% of guys at Marvel today, and you see how bored and lazy those other guys are. I mean, your eyes are taking in his 1990s McFarlane-esque Spider-Man, as well as his creative panel and page layouts. He and Hayden Sherman, who we're going to talk about later this week, are superstars at page layouts. They're the best at it. And how he illustrates this alternate Earth, this Spider-Reen character, and it's more horrific elements. They are terrific. It's an okay story elevated by a superstar in Carrie Andrews, who's clearly having a blast, and I'm having a blast reading it. This is a reckoning for Spider-Man and Wolverine.
I think at this point, it's pretty clear that Spider-Man and Wolverine is the best series over at Marvel Comics these days.
Absolutely. I agree.
Let's move over to DC because we got 3 more books to talk about, starting out with Aquaman number 11, Jeremy Adams writing, Nimit Malavia on art. I've never heard that name as an artist, but as a villain, it's a good looking issue. This is a DC KO tie-in issue. I mean, what I like about what Jeremy Adams does here that nobody else has really done in these tie-ins is he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to tell an Aquaman adventure. There are parademons trying to take over a cruise ship. We're going to have the weird Aquaman, I don't know, leftover parts team that he has with Arian, the Lady of the Lake. We've got one of the Wonder Twins all showing up there, the full-age version of Andrina. And they go and they fight parademons, and they follow them back down to the core of the earth as they're clearly doing something there. And if you're going to tie it in there, at least have some action and have a little bit of fun with it. We also got some pretty big things going on with Mira as well.
Like you said, we open up here with Mira and the others who are alive trying to find a way home. But will they? Only time will tell. And yeah, this issue, we have Aquaman and his Justice League Blue taking on the recently arrived parademons. But what are they doing on Earth? What are they doing at the bottom of the ocean? On top of that, is the power of the blue too much for Aquaman to handle? You got to read to find out. This was the first and only DC KO tie-in I've actually enjoyed and had fun reading. Why? Because I can tell the creatives here are having fun. This is a fun, fast-paced, action-packed, and mysterious issue. Strong recommend for Aquaman number 11. Why Jeremy Adams isn't handling this event is beyond me. He should be. Clearly, he has fun when he's doing this.
And this might be Absolute Aquaman. It just kind of feels that way, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It should have been.
And if you're a Batman fan, hopefully you skipped Batman 162 and you read these next 2 books that we're going to talk about. Batman and Robin 27, Philip Kennedy Johnson writing, Fico Ossio on art. In my opinion, the best ongoing series at DC Comics in 2025. And the Quiet Man certainly has a big part to play about this. I love this character as he's arrived in Gotham City and what he's bringing to the table, and concluding his big battle with Batman and Robin with Two-Face. And we've got Penguin, and we've got a giant typewriter that I remember seeing in Strange Apparitions and all these great moments going on there. He needs to get to the ventriloquist. Batman assures him he's still in Arkham. Might not be the whole truth. Really enjoyed this issue, and I love Fico Ossio arriving as the main artist.
This story has been an absolute blast, and this issue had me grinning from ear to ear. We have Batman and Robin taking out some bad guys, but still trying to grow together as father and son. And we also have some guest appearances from Superman and John. So we have some more moments between Clark and Bruce, as well as John and Damian, with fathers talking to each other and sons talking to each other. It's fantastic stuff. But we also have some shenanigans going on with the bad guys, specifically involving the ventriloquist and a couple other big name rogues. What do they want? Gotta read to find out. This issue was an absolute banger, Wes. Yeah, not only is PKJ telling some great character building stories here, but his artist, Fico Ossio, he's killing it. I don't say it lightly, but this guy is a superstar in the making. He will be on a bigger book here in the near future. How he illustrates the action scenes and the heroes here, they are what you want as a Batman fan. This is my second choice for book of the week. It's really terrific and a great example of what we should have on the main Batman book.
I completely agree with you on Fico Ossio. I've been waiting for him to get his big break. Final recommendation, Batman Dark Patterns number 12, Dan Waters writing, Hayden Sherman on art. This is the end of the road for the Batman Dark Patterns series. Starts tying everything together with this character, Nick Harris, who's been a reporter in Gotham City. The art in here is spectacular. Hayden Sherman was made for a book like this. I just think he fits it so well. There are some spectacular layouts that I know you mentioned earlier. And I think Dan Waters pretty much brings it home. Not exactly the ending that I wanted, but I think he gets the job done.
This is it. The final issue. Can Batman stop the flames from engulfing Gotham? Will the Child of Fire see the city burn to the ground? You got to read to find out. Yeah, Dan Waters here had, in my opinion, one of the best self-contained Batman runs of the last probably 20, 25 years. And it was only aided by Hayden Sherman. Hayden is another superstar artist this week. If you want to see how to lay out a creative and engaging page, which is pretty much the exact opposite from the other 98% of the artists out there, it's Hayden Sherman. I want to party with this guy. He's having a blast, and it shows here. On Absolute Wonder Woman, not so much, but here, yes. This is a great 12-issue run. It has a good ending. Not great. It's a good ending. It's a great story talking about the early days of Batman, and this will be an evergreen run that will be constantly reprinted and bought up by Batman fans and future Batman fans. Strong recommend for Batman Dark Patterns, and maybe in my top 5 comics of the year as well.
And that will be the best of the week, and it was a great week. But if you would like more comic book reviews, I do a show similar to this with our good friend Jim on Weird Science. It's called the Hot or Not Podcast, and we include everything, not just the good stuff, and it's about 2.5 hours long. If you haven't checked it out, it's on Think Critical Patreon as well as channel memberships. Hope to see you there very, very soon.